Alex stared out of the small window of the starship Endeavour. The stars shimmered like diamonds scattered across the black velvet of space. He could hardly believe that he was so far from Earth, on a mission that few humans had ever dreamed of. For years, people had talked about exploring the galaxy, but Alex was one of the first to set foot near the distant star system called Valoria. The mission was simple, but important. Earth had finally made contact with an alien civilization. The Valorians were different from humans in every way. Their skin was a soft shade of blue, their eyes larger and brighter, and they moved with a grace that seemed almost magical. Yet what interested Alex most was their culture. The Valorians had a rich history and many strange customs, but most of all, they valued peace and knowledge. Today was a big day. The human crew was invited to the Valorian palace for a formal ceremony. It was a chance to build trust between the two worlds. Alex was both nervous and excited. He was not just a pilot. He was a representative of humanity. The fate of relations between Earth and Valoria depended on how well the meeting went. The palace was unlike anything Alex had ever seen. It rose from the ground like a crystal mountain, shining in the light of the Valorian sun. As he stepped inside, the air smelled faintly of jasmine and something metallic. Soft music played in the background, created by instruments that made sounds Alex could not name. A group of Valorian officials welcomed the human visitors. Their faces were calm and serious, but their eyes showed curiosity. Then the moment everyone had been waiting for arrived. The princess entered. Leora was everything people had described and more. She was tall and slender, her blue skin glowing softly. Her long silver hair fell like a waterfall down her back. Her eyes shone with intelligence and kindness. She wore a simple dress, but there was no doubt she was royalty. The room fell silent as she approached Alex. The princess stopped in front of him and smiled. It was a small, shy smile, almost like a secret. Then she reached out and handed him a small object wrapped in cloth. Alex looked down to see a diary, its cover made of smooth, dark leather with strange symbols glowing faintly on the surface. "This is for you," Leora said softly. Her voice was like a gentle breeze. Alex was surprised. No one had expected a gift, especially not from the princess herself. He took the diary carefully, feeling the weight of it in his hands. "Thank you, Your Highness," he said, bowing slightly. Leora nodded and turned to leave. But just before she stepped away, she looked back at Alex with a strange expression. It was a mix of hope and fear. Back on the ship, Alex closed the door behind him and sat down at his desk. He stared at the diary for a moment. It was unlike any book he had ever seen. The symbols on the cover pulsed softly, almost like they were alive. He opened the diary carefully. The pages inside were thin and delicate. As he flipped through, he noticed something strange. Every page had his name written on it. Not once, but over and over. The handwriting was small and neat but trembling, as if the writer's hand had been shaking. Alex's heart beat faster. Why would the princess write his name so many times? What was she trying to say? He read the first entry. "Alex, I have never met anyone like him. His courage, his kindness. I am afraid but also drawn to him." What does this mean? I do not understand my feelings. Alex blinked. This was not a normal diary. It was personal and full of emotions. The princess was writing about him. But how? How could she know so much? The next entry spoke of her duties and her fears. She was expected to lead her people, but the weight of responsibility was heavy. The diary revealed a lonely side of Leora, hidden behind her royal smile. Alex could feel her struggle through her words. She was scared of a war brewing between Valoria and a neighboring planet. The princess did not want to fight, but knew her people might have no choice. As he read, Alex realized that the diary was a secret window into Leora's heart and mind. It was also a call for help. He thought about what this could mean. Maybe the princess trusted him more than anyone else. Maybe she believed that humans could offer something different to her people, a chance for peace. Alex closed the diary slowly and leaned back in his chair. The stars outside the window seemed brighter now, as if the universe was watching him. He did not know what the future held, but one thing was clear. This diary was the beginning of something new and unexpected. A story not just about politics or war, but about connection between two very different worlds. Alex smiled to himself. He was ready to learn what it meant to be a friend to an alien princess. After the ceremony at the Valorian palace, Alex could not stop thinking about the diary. Every night, when the ship was quiet and the stars outside the window seemed endless, he opened the diary again. The words inside felt alive. It was as if the princess was speaking directly to him, sharing her fears, hopes, and secrets. Alex wanted to understand more about Leora's world. The diary gave him a small window, but there was so much he did not know. Why did she trust him? How did she learn about Earth and humans? Most of all, what was this war she feared? The next morning, Alex requested a meeting with the Valorian ambassador, a tall, serious woman named Kayla. She was one of the few Valorians who spoke fluent human language and had been involved in early talks between Earth and Valoria. Kayla welcomed Alex into her office, a room filled with soft light and strange plants that moved slowly like they were breathing. Alex showed her the diary carefully. "This diary is from Princess Leora," Alex said quietly. "She wrote about me, about her fears, and about a war that might come. I think she is asking for help. Can you tell me more about the Valorian world? What is really happening?" Kayla's eyes darkened. She sighed and nodded. "You are brave to ask. Many avoid these questions. Our world is not as peaceful as it seems. The Valorian people are divided." She explained that Valoria was a planet rich in resources and technology. For centuries it had grown strong and proud. But not all Valorians agreed on how to use their power. Some wanted peace and cooperation with other planets, including Earth. Others believed in strength through conquest. "This disagreement has grown dangerous," Kayla said. "A neighboring system, the Ralvans, have begun to challenge us. They want to take our territory and resources. Our leaders are split. Some want to fight, others want to negotiate." Alex listened carefully. It was the same story he had heard many times on Earth. The desire for peace was strong, but fear and anger could push people toward war. Kayla looked at Alex with a hint of hope. "Princess Leora is one of the few who wants peace. She believes that Earth and humans might be the key to saving Valoria from itself. But she is young and has little power in the council." Alex thought about the diary again. It made sense now. Leora's trembling hand and repeated writing of his name were signs of her fear and hope. "Can I meet her again?" Alex asked. "I want to help if I can." Kayla smiled gently. "I will arrange it, but be careful. Politics here are complicated. Not everyone will welcome your involvement." That afternoon, Alex returned to the palace. The halls felt colder now, as if secrets hid in every shadow. He was led to a private garden where Leora waited. The princess looked different outside the formal ceremony. Her silver hair was tied back and her eyes shone with a mix of relief and worry. "You came," she said simply. Alex nodded. "I want to understand. Your diary, your words, they show you need someone to listen." Leora smiled softly. "It is not easy for me. The throne is a heavy burden. My people expect strength, but I feel uncertain. I admire humans. The way you face challenges with hope and courage. It is different from us." Alex was surprised. "But your world is so advanced. Why do you feel that way?" Leora looked up at the sky. "Technology does not bring peace. Sometimes it brings more fear. I see my people preparing for war, and it frightens me. I want to find another way." For hours they talked. Alex shared stories of Earth, how humans had faced wars but also found ways to build peace. Leora listened with interest and sometimes sadness. Before Alex left, Leora handed him the diary again. "There is more inside. You will see my true thoughts. But promise me you will be careful," Alex promised. As he walked away, he felt a new responsibility. This was no longer just a diplomatic mission. It was a chance to change the future of two worlds. Back on the Endeavor, Alex read the next diary entries. They were filled with hope but also warnings. Leora described secret meetings, whispered conversations, and threats from those who wanted war. She wrote about her dreams of a future where humans and Valorians could live as friends, but she also confessed her doubts. "Sometimes I wonder if I am too weak," one entry read. "If I cannot protect my people, what good am I?" Yet when I think of Alex, I find strength. He is not just a man from another world. He is a light in the darkness. Alex felt a deep connection with the princess. Her fears were real, but so was her courage. He knew he had to find a way to help her. The days passed quickly. More meetings with Valorian leaders showed Alex the complexity of the situation. Some officials were open to peace talks, while others plotted to push the planet toward war. One evening, during a quiet moment in the palace gardens, Leora confided in Alex a secret she had not written in her diary. "There is a tradition among my people," she said. The rulers keep a hidden chamber, a place where the true history of Valoria is kept. It is forbidden for most to enter. But I believe the answers we need are there. Alex's curiosity grew. Can you show me? Leora hesitated but nodded. If we want to stop the war, we must understand our past. Perhaps the secrets there can help us find peace. Together they planned to explore the hidden chamber. It was risky, but the hope of finding a solution was worth it. The night of the secret journey arrived. The palace was quiet, except for the soft hum of the city outside. Alex and Leora moved carefully through corridors and hidden doors. The air grew colder as they descended deep into the heart of the palace. At last they reached a heavy door covered in ancient symbols. Leora touched the door with trembling hands and it slowly opened. Inside, shelves held old scrolls, glowing crystals, and artifacts from Valoria's distant past. Leora picked up a scroll and unrolled it carefully. The words told stories of unity and strength through cooperation, not conquest. "This is the truth," Leora whispered. "Our ancestors lived in peace by working together, not fighting. We have forgotten this." Alex smiled. "Maybe it is time to remind your people of that truth." They spent hours in the chamber, discovering lost knowledge and forgotten wisdom. For the first time, hope seemed real. As dawn approached, Alex and Leora returned to the surface. The princess looked tired but determined. "We must share this with the council," she said. "If we do not, war will come and everything will be lost." Alex nodded. "I will help you. Together, we can show them a better way." The diary had brought Alex to a hidden world, full of danger and hope. It had opened his eyes to the struggles of a planet on the edge of war. But most of all, it had revealed the heart of a princess who believed in peace and in him. The council chamber in the Valorian palace was vast and shimmering. Its walls reflected the light from the glowing crystals embedded in the floor. Alex had never seen a place so beautiful and so full of tension. The Valorian leaders were gathered for an emergency meeting, called by Princess Leora herself. The secret knowledge from the hidden chamber was about to be revealed. Alex stood beside Leora as she stepped forward. Her voice was calm, but firm. "My people," she said, "we have forgotten the lessons of our ancestors. The time for war is not now. There is a better way, a way of peace and cooperation." The room was silent for a moment. Then, one of the council members, a tall Valorian with sharp eyes named Varric, stood up. His voice was cold. "Princess, your ideas are naive. Our enemies will not stop because of words. Strength is what they respect." Leora looked at Varric with steady eyes. "Strength without wisdom leads to destruction. Our ancestors lived in peace when they worked together. The knowledge I have shared shows us how to rebuild that peace." Varric sneered. "And what of the humans? Why should we trust them? They are strangers to us." Alex stepped forward. His heart pounded, but he spoke clearly. "I am not here to ask for blind trust. I am here to offer friendship and cooperation. Humans have made many mistakes, but we have also learned the value of peace through struggle. We want to help Valoria avoid the horrors of war." Some council members whispered among themselves. It was clear that Alex's words had made an impression, but many were still doubtful. Leora added, "The diary I gave to Alex is a symbol of trust. It is not just my story, but a call for all of us to choose a better future." The council decided to allow a temporary peace treaty while they discussed the possibility of an alliance between humans and Valorians. This was a small but important step. Back on the Endeavor, Alex and his crew began working with Valorian scientists and diplomats. The two teams shared ideas about technology, culture, and governance. Alex was amazed at how much humans and Valorians could learn from each other. Valorian technology was advanced, but human creativity and adaptability brought fresh ideas. One day, while working in the laboratory, Alex watched as a Valorian scientist struggled with a device designed to clean polluted water. The scientist's hands trembled in frustration. Alex stepped forward and suggested a simple adjustment based on human engineering principles. The scientist looked at Alex with surprise. "Your idea, it works." This small success spread hope. It showed that cooperation could solve real problems. Meanwhile, Leora continued to write in her diary. Her entries spoke of cautious optimism. She admired how humans faced challenges head-on and how Alex's presence inspired those around him. However, not everyone was pleased with the new alliance. Some Valorian leaders secretly met with agents from the Ralvan system. They planned to sabotage the peace talks and push Valoria into war. One evening, Alex received a message from Leora. "Meet me in the garden. There is something you must see." In the quiet moonlight, Leora revealed a secret. "I discovered a spy in the palace," she said. "Someone who wants to end all hope for peace." Alex's mind raced. "Do you know who it is?" Leora nodded. "Not yet. But I have clues. We must act carefully." Together, they began to investigate. Alex used his human skills of observation and reasoning, while Leora used her knowledge of palace politics. Their search led them to hidden passages and secret meetings. The tension grew as they uncovered a web of lies and betrayal. One night, they overheard a conversation between the spy and a Ralvan agent. The plan was clear: to destroy the peace treaty by attacking a Valorian city and blaming humans. Alex and Leora knew they had to stop it. They rushed to warn the council, but the spy acted fast. The attack was launched before they could intervene. Explosions rocked the city. Buildings crumbled and people ran in fear. Alex and Leora organized rescue teams. The humans and Valorians worked side by side, saving lives and treating the wounded. The attack shocked the council. Even Varric admitted that war was no longer the answer. In the days that followed, Alex and Leora used the diary's message to unite their people. They showed that trust and cooperation were stronger than fear and hatred. Slowly, the leaders agreed to strengthen the alliance. Valoria and Earth began to build a future together. Alex felt proud. The diary had brought more than words. It had brought hope. But the story was not over. New challenges awaited, and Alex was ready to face them with the princess by his side. The attack on the Valorian city had shaken everyone. The streets were scarred with damage, and the people's faces showed fear and uncertainty. The council held emergency meetings, trying to decide how to respond. The peace treaty was fragile now, and many wondered if it would survive at all. Alex stood beside Princess Leora in the palace, watching the council members argue. Some called for immediate retaliation against the Ralvans. Others warned that more fighting would only bring destruction. Leora's voice was calm but strong. "We must not let fear control us. War will only tear our worlds apart. There is still a way to find peace." Alex admired her courage. Despite everything, she refused to give in to anger. But the pressure was growing. More voices demanded war. The princess knew that if she could not show real strength, she might lose everything. Then a new threat appeared. Intelligence reports revealed that the Ralvans were planning another attack. This time, it would be against the Valorian capital itself, the city where Leora lived. The news spread quickly. The people were terrified. Leora faced the impossible: protect her people or risk destroying the fragile hope for peace. Alex could see the weight on her shoulders. One night, in the quiet of the palace garden, he spoke softly. "You don't have to carry this alone." Leora looked at him, eyes shining with gratitude and worry. "If the capital falls, everything we have worked for will be lost." Alex nodded. "Then let me help. Humans have faced impossible odds before. We can find a way." The next days were a whirlwind of preparation. Alex and the Valorian military worked together, combining human tactics with Valorian technology. They built defenses, trained soldiers, and organized evacuation plans. Despite the fear, there was a new feeling: hope. The people saw that humans and Valorians were united. This was no longer just a political alliance. It was a bond forged in trust and courage. Then the attack came. Massive ships from the Ralvan fleet appeared in the sky above the capital. Lasers and missiles lit up the dark as the battle began. Alex was in the command center coordinating defense efforts. He watched as Valorian ships fought bravely, but the Ralvans were stronger and more numerous. Leora was at the heart of the city, encouraging her people to stay calm and safe. Her presence was a beacon of hope. But when an enemy strike targeted the palace itself, everything changed. The building shook from the impact. Guards rushed to protect the princess. Alex made a quick decision. "I am going to the palace," he said firmly. "You stay here and keep leading." Leora nodded. "Be careful, Alex." With a small team of soldiers, Alex flew through the chaos to the palace. The streets were dangerous, with debris and fires everywhere. When he reached the palace gates, a group of enemy soldiers was already inside. Alex and his team fought bravely, using every tactic they had learned. Inside, Alex found Leora in the throne room. She was unharmed but shaken. "We have to get out," Alex said quickly. "The palace is no longer safe." Leora agreed. Together, they led a small group through secret tunnels beneath the palace. The passage was dark and narrow, but it was their only chance. As they moved, Leora shared her fears. "If we lose the palace, the people will lose hope. And without hope, there is no future." Alex squeezed her hand. "Hope is not in buildings or thrones. It is in people, in you, in me, in all who fight for peace." They emerged outside the city walls just as another wave of enemy forces advanced. From there, Alex and Leora boarded a ship waiting to take them to a safe location. The battle continued for hours, but thanks to the combined efforts of humans and Valorians, the capital was defended. The Ralvan forces were pushed back. After the battle, Alex and Leora returned to the council. The princess addressed the leaders with new strength. "We have faced the darkness and survived. Now more than ever, we must unite. War is not the answer. Together we will build a future of peace." The council agreed. Plans for a lasting alliance between Earth and Valoria were accelerated. Scientists, diplomats, and soldiers from both worlds worked side by side. Alex and Leora's bond grew deeper. They had faced danger together and learned to trust each other completely. One night, as they looked out over the city from the palace balcony, Leora opened her diary. She read an entry aloud. "Alex gave me strength when I had none. Together we are more than leaders. We are a symbol of hope for all." Alex smiled. "Your diary brought us here. It showed me the true power of trust." Leora nodded. "And your courage showed me that peace is possible." The war was not over, but the worst was behind them. Humanity and Valoria had taken their first true steps toward a shared future. Alex knew the road ahead would be difficult, but he was ready. For the first time, he understood what it meant to be a hero, not because of power, but because of hope. The sun rose over Valoria, casting golden light on the city that had once been the center of fear and destruction. But today, the streets were alive with hope and renewal. The scars of battle were still visible, but the people were busy rebuilding, their faces shining with determination. Alex stood beside Princess Leora on the balcony of the palace. They watched the busy city below, where humans and Valorians worked together to restore what had been lost. The alliance between Earth and Valoria was no longer just words, it was real. Leora turned to Alex and smiled. "It is hard to believe how much has changed in such a short time." Alex nodded. "None of this would have been possible without your courage and your diary." Leora laughed softly. "I never imagined that my private thoughts would become a bridge between our worlds." Alex took her hand gently. "Sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest power. Your words gave us the strength to believe." The journey to peace had not been easy. After the battle for the capital, tensions remained high. Many Valorians were still wary of humans. Some feared that the alliance was a trick, a way for Earth to take control of their planet. Others held on to old grudges against the Ralvans. To overcome this, Alex and Leora traveled across Valoria. They visited villages and cities, meeting people from all walks of life. Alex shared stories of Earth, its struggles and successes. Leora spoke about the future she dreamed of, a future where no one would have to fear war. At every stop, they carried the diary. It had become a symbol of trust. People read the princess's honest words, her doubts and hopes, and they began to see her not just as a leader but as a friend. One day, In a small village surrounded by blue forests, a group of children gathered around Alex. They asked him questions about Earth, about the animals, the weather, and the stars. Alex smiled as he answered. It was a reminder of how much there was to learn and share between the two worlds. Meanwhile, Leora worked with the council to create new laws based on cooperation and fairness. She insisted that humans be included in important decisions. Some leaders resisted, but her determination was stronger. In the palace, Leora kept writing in her diary. Her entries grew more hopeful. She wrote about the strength she found in friendship and the importance of listening to one another. One evening, Alex found her alone in the garden, writing under the stars. "What are you thinking?" he asked softly. Leora looked up and smiled. "I am writing about today, about how fear has been replaced by hope, but also about the work ahead. Peace is not a place we arrive at, it is a path we must walk every day." Alex nodded. "I will walk that path with you." The next challenge came unexpectedly. The Ralvans had not given up. Some of their leaders still wanted war, believing they could defeat Valoria and Earth if they acted quickly. Alex received a secret message. A group of Ralvan ships planned to attack a human colony near Valoria. Alex and Leora acted fast. They called an emergency meeting of the Alliance's leaders. "We cannot let this happen," Alex said. "If we do not stand together, everything we have built will fall apart," Leora agreed. "This is a test of our unity. We must show that peace is stronger than fear." The Alliance prepared for battle again, but this time it was different. Humans and Valorians fought side by side, not as enemies but as friends protecting their shared future. The battle was fierce but short. The Ralvan forces were defeated, and many leaders among them saw that war would only bring more pain. After the victory, the Alliance offered peace talks to the Ralvans. It was a new beginning for all three systems. Back on Valoria, a great celebration was held. People danced in the streets, children laughed, and music filled the air. Alex and Leora stood together, proud of what they had achieved. In the crowd, the princess opened her diary one last time and read aloud. "We came from different worlds, but our hearts beat as one. Trust has built a bridge where once there was only fear. This is our new dawn." Alex smiled and took her hand. "Your diary was the key. It showed us that courage is not just fighting, it is opening your heart." Leora nodded. "And your friendship showed me that peace is possible, even in the darkest times." The future was still uncertain, but now it was full of promise. Humans and Valorians had found a way to live together, to learn from each other, and to protect the galaxy from the shadow of war. Alex knew that many stories were yet to be told, but for now he felt at home among the stars, with the princess who had given him her diary, and her trust. Together they looked out at the endless sky, ready to face whatever adventures awaited.